Hello.
My finger's in that one. My finger. I don't know why we're really West Country then. There's Marshall. Here he is. Here he is. He's a bit little sod, aren't you? Come on up. Up. Hey. Boop. What's this? What's this? Makes his nose look so long.
Stop filming me, Dad.
Oh, my friend, it's been a hard day. I'm back at UK Bike Fit with Dan today. It's a very last minute message to come over. Literally, I think you had a cancellation this morning and I was like, yeah, I can make it work as long as I can bring the dog. So I think as many people will know, I have a lot of problem with my feet, and we have spent years literally spent years trying to come up with solutions and try and work out the best way to solve it. And I think we got pretty close with especially with the S-Fire mountain bike shoes, these ones. They're looking well used now, but these have been the best shoes I've found so far. And the bit that's been tricky is these are actually slightly different in terms of the fit to the road ones. Now the road shoes are very good shoes, but I have got very wide feet. Wide, large and flat feet is probably the best way of describing them.
Flippers.
Flipper feet. Technical term is flippers. And the S-Fire road ones are a little bit narrower than the S-Fire mountain bike ones, so they don't quite fit the same. They've also got less volume, the road ones.
The mountain bike one's got more volume.
I said the road ones have got less volume, mountain bike ones have got more volume, so they feel more spacious to me. So anyway, Dan then suggested, we've tried several lake shoes, and the problem I found with them is we tried these ones. The problem I found with these, the fit was good, but they're too stiff for my feet with this bit of carbon here. Bless you. Which ultimately became quite uncomfortable to ride on, but the fit was really good in them. So that was a good start point. So what we're now doing is we're going to try out these, which are CX332s, which are, I guess, less stiff.
They're the sole's a lot flatter than the 403, and the sole of the shoe stops where it stops on a normal shoe, whereas the 403 comes right up the arch. Yeah. So that's what we're trying today, I guess.
Yeah, so we're going to try that and see how these ones are. Initially, the fit feels good. It feels weird because they are very much a different shape shoe to the S-Fires. They do feel wider, but they're actually technically a smaller size than what I ride in the Shimanos. They're a 46.5. The Shimano's is a 47. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting, and we're going to try them out. We're setting up some G8s for them. Unfortunately, my existing G8s won't work in them because they are narrower than what I'd need for the lakes. So, and then the last thing we're going to do is coming back to these GBMI saddles, which have literally changed my
life.
But basically we did some pressure mapping, as you'd have seen in some other videos, and found that these GBMI saddles, what's it called, a sleek?
GBMI sleek, yeah.
The GBMI sleek, cut out. They do different widths?
Different widths, cut out, soft padding, firm padding, channels. Basically the same saddle with different iterations depending on what you like, which is quite nice from a fit point of view because you can test a load of different stuff without having to change the saddle completely. So bike fitters like them for that reason.
We put them on, I think, 2 of my bikes so far, I think.
Yes, you've had 2.
So we put them on the Soloist and we put them on the Caledonia, which is the Soloist I then rode to Paris and I had no issues at all with it, which was amazing. And we put them on the Caledonia because that's kind of been the bike which I do a lot, especially in the winter, use for big miles. And now I have 2 left. One of them is going to go on the drop bar hardtail, and one of them will probably end up going on the Aspero, which currently is being repaired because I crashed it really badly and just have left it hanging on the wall. I've not ridden it. So I decided to get it actually fixed at last after the Canary Islands. And the reason why those particular bikes is they're the bikes I tend to do the most riding on, I think.
What are you doing? Playing with Lego. Setting up your G8s. So G8 insoles are like modular, so you can choose what arch piece to have. They come in different heights. And then you can change them laterally and then forward and back as well. So we're going to fit those in the new shoes so that everything feels normal. Like this is the most important part of any shoe, like what you've got inside it, what bit your foot is contacting. So we'll set these up first, get them in the shoe, and then fit your cleats.
I remember some cleats.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
New ones.
Wait, they are the same ones. Blue float. I wasn't sure what float they were. Blue. I don't even. What's blue float?
2 degrees.
2 degrees. What's the yellow float?
6 degrees.
And then red is no float.
Red is chuck them in the bin.
Fresh from pedals of some form.
Ah, okay. So they need to...
Maybe that's why I destroy cleats.
No, you destroy cleats because you do stupid shit with cleats.
True. Shoes done.
Shoes done. I guess I'm not going to pedal yet. What are you going to try them out in the wild?
Yeah.
Bit of field testing.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to try them out on the turbo because I always think that's a really good way to see how things feel because you concentrate on it more. And then I'm going to go and ride them outside, and if they are good, I will use them for a project next month.
Okay, interesting.
Which I've just shown you off camera.
All right, yeah.
The thing is with the Shimano S-Fires, I get on with them absolutely fine, especially in the winter. But I notice it in the summer that when your feet swell is when they start to get a bit uncomfortable. So we'll see. It's an experiment. It's a foot experiment. Marshall's keen. You keen? You smell it? Yeah, he doesn't like it. So yeah, we're going to try them out. We've set the cleats up the same as the road shoes, and we'll do some real world testing.
Same insoles as well.
Same insoles.
Wedges.
Same wedges. Same cleats. Everything should be the same.
Yeah.
They're just white.
They're just white, and that won't make a difference to your comfort. Although everyone knows that white shoes are...
I'm going to question that. Maybe it would, because white reflects heat.
Someone should do a study on that.
A white shoe reflects...
But the heat is coming from your foot. When
but what if you're in a country that's really hot?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Like Spain.
Someone who researches these things, do some research on that.
The bar tape is envy bar tape, and it's been done so beautifully, Dan.
Wrapped too well.
I think it has, you know. It's quite nice, the envy stuff. It's grippy. I've also ripped it already. Tiny little rip.
Of course you have. You're a bike breaker.
A bike breaker. So we're getting rid of this saddle.
Bye bye.
Pro Stealth Off-Road. It's a good saddle, but that's a better one for me. Yeah. So we're just tweaking the drop bar hardtail a little bit. Get a bit of my saddle on. I'm kind of sitting in the middle of it. And now we're just checking the handlebar position a bit because I cocked it up. And maybe adjusting the hoods.
Definitely adjusting the hoods.
Pulling them up
So
slightly.
now I've moved the bars, rotate the bars down, your shifters are way too low and flat compared to the bar angle. So just bringing these back to where they were basically.
Hopefully not having to dismantle all of the bar tape and could just lift them up a little bit.
I'm going to try and stretch it, but it's wrapped very well, whoever wrapped this. It's good wrapping.
Charles from Saddleback.
Oh, it's stretchy tape.
Oh, it is.
Ah, we're all right.
Yeah. I didn't expect that to stretch like that. So this drop bar hardtail has been the most talked about bike I think I own. And I think a lot of people, there's obviously an interest in drop bar hardtails, especially in the ultra scene. We're seeing a lot of ultra riders doing it for off-roady races. So Justinas and Ulrich, who was first and second at Trans Am, were on drop bar hardtails. Is it Trans Am? I think it's Trans Am, the one that goes across America that's off-road. And Justinas has also done it for Atlas Mountains, and then there's a couple of guys out in the States who have been doing the Lifetime Grand Prix Series who've done it as well. With the Lifetime Grand Prix Series events, You have the choice of riding on a mountain bike or a gravel bike or a road bike. Basically, you can ride whatever you want. Terrain on them varies so much that some of them are more road gravel, some of them are more gravel, and some of them are all mountain biking. So some of the guys on the mountain bike ones have been doing it on drop bar hardtails. So it's been something I've been kind of thinking about and aware of for a while. And then when I broke the wrists, that's greatly escalated my want to do this. The reason being, comfort-wise, I was more comfortable on drop bars, but I wanted the volume and the suspension of a mountain bike. I found the flat bars really quite uncomfortable, so that was a big reason for not wanting to stay with the flat bars. And I think it was because of the wrist angle. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because we put your, it was on this bike, wasn't it, with the flat bars?
Yeah.
We put the SQ Lab inner bar ends on there for that reason, to give you more of a road wrist hand position. But obviously, what's more roady than road bars?
Yeah, exactly. And this, to me, having used it in Sri Lanka, used it in Austria, yes, you're compromising slightly on having a narrower bar, but the overall comfort is so much better, in my opinion.
Yeah, as long as you, obviously when you've got a flat bar, you've not got the reach that you have with the bar, so this bar reach looks around like 70mm, 75mm. Normally you'd have your flat bar, maybe with a bit of sweep or something. So as long as you take that into account with your stem length and your bar reach and everything, like, you can get the fit pretty good.
So this, when we had a flat bar, it had a 90mm stem on it. This has dropped back down to 50. So we put a shorter stem on, and this is actually the narrower gravel NB bar, but it's still quite wide on the drops. And then in terms of like spacers, it's exactly the same as what I had when I had it with flat bars.
Yeah, that wouldn't change.
The only other change was changing the seat post, so getting rid of the dropper and putting a normal seat post, but this is an inline seat post, dropper was inline, so in theory that's also quite similar. So there hasn't been huge changes really in terms of fit. Actually feels quite similar, but if I put this next to, say, my gravel bike or road bike, it's much more upright, way more upright.
Yeah, as it will be with it being what it is, but also for handling as well, like that's what you'll want.
Yeah,
because you're still going to do some technical stuff on this, aren't you? It's not like we're wanting a bike that handles like a road bike. You still want it to handle like a mountain bike, but with the different hand position.
I'm genuinely convinced. I think this is one of the best decisions I've ever made in terms of comfort for ultra cycling off-road. You will have seen, like, I've been sort of talking about these Gebiomized saddles quite a lot recently. They're supplied from a company called Bike Fit Kit, which is a UK-based distributor for like cycling, bike fitting objects, saddles, insoles. I'm looking for random things here. This, I don't know what that is, not that.
Form stuff.
Things in here? No. Oh, so nice though. This stuff.
No. Well, yes, and that.
This stuff, these things, all these kind of objects are things that you can get from Bike Fit Kit. Anyway, Bike Fit Kit is a distributor for like bike fit stuff, insoles, cleats, spacers, saddles, things that you need for fitting things. And I believe there's now a discount code which you can use if you're looking to purchase and try out one of these Gebiomized saddles. What's the discount code? So the code is 10 off dash Chris Hall Ride. It will give you 10% off.
Yes.
10% off. It'll give you 10% off one of the saddles. And I think the thing to mention is, like, ultimately there is hundreds of different saddles out there. Not every saddle is perfect for everyone, but the Gebiomized ones seem to be a really good option for a lot of people. Make sense?
Makes sense. They seem to fit more of a, well, their range of saddles covers more of a majority of people rather than one saddle suiting a minority of people. So yeah, one of their range is a pretty safe bet for most people, but it's just like any other saddle. Like, not every saddle is going to be perfect for everyone. It's all individual, but their range covers a lot of those individuals.
If you want to get a bike fit as well, drop down a message. He's a very nice man.
Sometimes.
He lets me bring my dog in. That's not normal service. Mate, we're done. We can go home. Yeah, that was a really short, I guess, catch up with Dan. We've set up the new lakes to try out for a bit on the road. Changed the saddle over on the drop bar hardtail. As I said, it's literally become the bike of all bikes to defeat all bikes in the world. I forgot to mention 2 things that I've changed on this since starting it. So one thing is I've actually got the fork lockout on there as opposed to like a remote one. So actually that's quite nice to be able to control that. And then I changed the cassette to a tighter range because I was finding I was just riding in the bottom 2 or 3 cogs all the time, so I wanted something that was a bit better. I'm probably going to put a bigger chainring on it as well.
Sit. My dog now.